All right, guys, so what we are going to be working on is we're going to be working on volume. And remember, volume is going to be how much can fit into an object. It's not how big that object is, it's how big or how much something can fit into the object. So we are going to kind of be coming back and forth for this grid paper and then coming back here to write this information. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at centimeter cubes. And I have some different color ones, but I'm going to try to keep with just one of the same color, so I'm getting all of these green cubes out. So these are my centimeter cubes, and you guys have seen them and probably really kind of remember them as your base 10 cubes, and this is your 1, okay? So what we're gonna do is on each of these, it wants me to build. And what I'm basically going to do is I'm just gonna kind of keep building off of what I have, okay? Doesn't matter where I put this on here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my grid paper, and I'm going to create this first one, so I've put this down, okay? Well, I want to know what is the volume, okay? Well, the volume is going to be how many cubes fit into that object, and I have 1 centimeters cubed, which is that number 3, okay? The explanation is I count only 1 cube, okay? Now I'm going to create this one. So I'm going to have these 3 here, and then I'm going to have this one right here. And if I count them up, I'm going to count up how many cubes I have, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is going to be my volume? It's 5 centimeters cubed. And how I know is I had 3 cubes and I added 2 more. So I counted 3 cubes and added 2 more. Okay, this next one I'm going to just kind of build off is that I'm going to add another one right here, and then I'm going to add 3 going there. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. So then if I were to look at this, I want to know what is my volume of this shape. My volume, oh, sorry guys, I know you can't see. The volume of this shape is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what I have is I've got 9 centimeters cubed. Now some of you guys might have been able to say, well, I can count 3, 6, 9, or I know I've got 3 times 3. I've got 3 in this row and I'm going to multiply it by 3. So for my explanation is I multiplied 3 times 3. Okay, that's how I got that. So this next one's going to be a little bit tricky. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create this where I've got my 3 right here. Okay, I'm trying to keep this as much as I can up on here, and I might actually kind of move this a bit so we can see this. So I've got 3 there, and it looks like I'm going to have another 2 right behind it, because you can kind of see that there's 2 right here, and you can see that 1 right there. You do not see 1 here. If you did, you would have seen a line there. So that's why we've got that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add those 2 on top. So there is my figure, okay? And so what I'm going to do is it says I want to know what is the volume. Well, if I look at the volume, I can either count, but you're not always going to be able to. So you're going to take a look at this. I've counted my front layer is 1, 2, 3, okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So this volume is also 9 centimeters cubed, and it looks completely different from what I had. And so how do I know this? Is that I counted the front layer. Okay, so here I counted the front layer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then carefully I counted the back layer, 6, 7, 8, and then I know there's 1 right here, 9. The back. Okay. Moving it on up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to recreate the same thing, and it looks like it's just really solid. And I can tell that I've got 3 here, and I know that I'm going to have 3 on top of that. Okay. And then when I look back here, I am going to have a second row, and they are both on top of each other. And of course, guys, you can't have anything just kind of floating because they do have to be with something. So if I were to look at this, I'm going to figure out how much it is going to be. And when I count it, I could just go ahead and count it. But of course, guys, you're not always going to be able to have this 3D representation. So if I did count it, what I could do is I could count my front faces, which is 1, 2, 3, okay? And what I could do then is I could also, well, let's go ahead and count this up first. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this volume is 12 centimeters cubed, okay? So my explanation is going to be that I counted the end layer. So I counted the end layer right here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and when I look at it, so I know that there's going to be 4 cubes here, there's going to be 4 cubes here, there's going to be 4 cubes here, so I could do 4 times 3 is going to be 12. So I counted the end layer and multiplied it by 3. Okay, you wouldn't necessarily be able to do this, but what you could do is you could look at this end layer. I'm going back up to D, sorry guys. I could look at this end layer and this end layer. So I've got 4 here, so 4 times 2, and then I've got that 1 here. So then this one we're going to do basically the same thing. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've got, and it's going to go back deep, so it's got 2 going back, and it's going to be stacked 2 high. So I know that I'm going to have 4. So that's going to help us to figure out what our volume is going to be. So I know, and I'm just going to kind of unstack this just real quick, that I need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, and then 5. And I know it goes too deep. And then I basically need to have something stacked on top. And sorry guys, I would get the same color, but I don't want to waste the time with this. So I'm going to put 3 right here. Okay. So then if I were to count this, and here's kind of what my explanation can be, is when I look at the end layer, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I know that I've got 4, I'm going to multiply it, and I look here, I'm going to multiply it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this volume is actually 20 centimeters cubed, and the explanation can be I counted the end layer and multiplied it by 5 because I knew that I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I was going to take a look at. Now, this is not how you are going to find out volume, but when we are doing things like this with our centimeters cubed, this is a way that you can definitely count it, but you can also make the model and be able to count how many cubes would fit into that structure.